Joking aside, Skip termed our mixed group his League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, and indeed they are. Jim Hussey originally invited me to join the group back when he was chairman. I wondered what Jim saw in me to invite me into his group. And later on in the meeting, after I explained my business, I heard Skip's big voice saying, "Yep, he'll fit right in. He's just as screwed up as the rest of us." When I joined the group, right away I started to wonder what I got myself into. The guy who had hosted the last meeting quit the group right afterwards, and then the guy who hosted my first meeting quit the group right after that. They're a tough group of guys. They'd all make good IRS auditors. We tried to come up with a name for the group, and at one time seemed to settle on intimidators. I thought exterminators was more like it. Ultimately, the group settled in on Masters of Achievement. I love every one of our mixed group members. They set the bar high, and they hold me to it. They've helped me improve my business in many ways, and if nothing else, their continued motivation has paid off 100 times over. Mixed groups are one of the best benefits of belonging to ACCA. I don't know anyone in a mixed group who wouldn't tell you to join one as soon as you possibly can. I know it's been a struggle sometimes helping people get into groups who want to be in one, but we've had a lot of success this past year in making that happen, and I promise you we'll have even more in 2010. Let me say that again, 2010. Can you believe it? I remember years ago reading George Orwell's book, 1984, and then later watching the movie 2001, A Space Odyssey. Wow, they both seemed very futuristic. But 2010, now that really sounds in the future. The way this year's shaping up, I think I'll call it 2010 an HVAC Odyssey. There's lots of crazy stuff going on. Who would have thought a Republican would ever take Kennedy's seat in Massachusetts? And our PAC donated some money to that. Where will health care end up? Will Haiti rebuild it right this time? And what's up with all this LEED, green building, zero energy, whole house diagnostics, and alternate energy stuff? How about chiller beams, transcritical CO2 water heaters? And by the way, who's installed a heat pump water heater already? More importantly, where are all those people coming from proclaiming themselves experts and giving us standards, codes, when they obviously don't know anything about HVAC? This last year, ACCA staff and association members have been in overdrive attending meetings and hearings. If you followed the ACCA emails, you've gotten a sense of what's going on. Healthcare reform, cap and trade, energy mandates and rebates, and many new initiatives from a variety of groups who are all trying to cash in on governmental grants. ACCA has tried to hit them all to protect our members' interests. It's indeed been a busy year. But we can't succeed if all we do is respond to the madness around us. We have to figure out where the madness is going and how to get ahead of it so ACCA can prepare our members to be successful in the future. Of course, when I say in the future, remember, this is 2010. The future's already here. There isn't much time to think and plan and consider. The world has already changed, but not enough contractors seem to have realized it. Let me ask you a couple questions. Yes, we're playing the Oprah show again, and this is the audience part. Who in the audience does manual J calculations? A lot of you. Okay, how about operational cost comparisons for different efficiencies of equipment? So now who knows better the real cost effect of better windows, insulation, or type of HVAC equipment? Is it the builder? Is it some administrator making up a code or standard out of thin air? Or is it all of us, the contractors? There's no question that quality ACCA contractors like you are the go-to guys to help solve this nation's building energy concerns. Technology is growing exponentially, and we have to learn twice as fast to keep up with it. ACCA is currently working on a zoning manual, and with it we will have a complete set of residential design and balancing manuals. We're also coming out with an indoor pool, spa, and pool manual, which some of you may have seen here, and it'll be the only one of its kind. My goal this year is to ensure that ACCA keeps broadening its horizons. You will see us expand more in depth into hydronic heating and cooling, solar hot water heating, whole house diagnostics, and how to work with new energy standards and mandates. If you think for a minute that all these things, LEED, green building, zero energy, geothermal heat pumps, solar heating, solar voltaic, and windmills are not already here and moving at the speed of a freight train, you better hold on, because you're going to be lost in the dust. They're here now, and they're here to stay. You can't afford to ignore all these technologies. You have a responsibility to become knowledgeable, expand your technical horizons, and embrace new methods of doing business. And ACCA has a responsibility to help you do it. Of course, this is just one front in which ACCA must engage. We're still waging a battle on another front, the one in Washington, in state houses around the country. It'd be a lot easier if we only had to focus on one thing, but we can't. From healthcare takeovers to tax hikes on small business owners, the current administration and Congress seem determined to give our country the activist, progressive, expansive government that they think we deserve, but we never asked for. And with so many of the government proposals aimed squarely at contractors, we have to be ready to convince, persuade, promote, or just plain fight wherever we need to. Our staff has worked hard in these areas over the last year, but this is not something you can just hire staff to deal with and then leave them to do it. Our government affairs folks would be the first to tell you that they can't do it themselves. They need you, the members. They need your input on surveys. They need you to respond to our grassroots efforts. And yes, they need you to give to the pack. And they need you to pick up the phone and call your representative on a regular basis. All of us are very busy. It's tempting to go back home to our own companies, in our own towns, and focus on the day-to-day and think that someone else must have all this other stuff covered, be it technical issues or government issues. Well, guess what? There is no someone else, and they don't have it covered. You are the only someone else. So the choice is to sit back and get steamrolled, or to get engaged and exert at least some control on what's happening. Business as usual is now and forevermore business unusual. Even if and when the economy rebounds, do you really think it's just going to go back to like it was 5, 10, or 15 years ago? Well, I'm pretty sure it won't. Contractors have to get educated, get involved, and in some cases get redefined for a new world. From the systems we install, to the tools that we use, to the customers we serve, to the ways we communicate, it's all different. And it's going to be different again tomorrow. And the day after that, you know what? It's going to be different. Which is why the association that serves us must be different too. Today, tomorrow, and the day after. 2010, I love the way that number sounds. It sounds like opportunity to me. I want to thank you for your continued support of ACCA and for all that you do. I'm humbled to be asked to serve and look forward to an exciting year. Thank you, and good night.